Now we're going to look at loops with Pseudocode. And there's only two types of loops that we know. There's a conditional and unconditional. Repeat until or repeat times. Let's have a look. Repeat examples. Set counter to 5. Repeat. Counter -1. Repeat until counter equals nothing. This is a repeat until loop, or a loop until. Counter starts at 5, repeats. Each time it repeats, we take 1 off. Counter goes 5, then 4, then 3, then 2, then 1. The counter becomes 0, the loop stops. This is the loop control. Notice we're just using the same keywords. The only difference being here is repeat until. We can also use a loop until. It doesn't matter. You'll see that in the examples. In the examples that we do for input algorithms, we use a do loop until, and this is pretty much the same. Set counter to 5, do something, repeat it until. And there's another example. Counter starts at 30 this time, repeat 30 times, counter -1. So in this loop, we know this is a for loop, this is a conditional loop until it gets to that. This is a for loop, unconditional loop. Set counter to 30, repeat 30 times, counter -1, end repeat. This will do the same task as this one, but this is set. It's a for loop. There's indentation within every loop. I'm going to go on about that all the time. Do while loops run until a certain condition is met. They're set out like this. While something is not equal or is not true, do. Repeat the instructions until it does end while. So while something is, do, repeat it, end while. Here's a wee example. Total to 0, set count to 0. While count is less than 10, receive input from the integer keyboard. Set total to total plus input, set count to count plus 1, end while. So in this loop, we've got two variables set at 0. The while count is less than 10, take in a value from the integer keyboard and set total to the total plus whatever's input. So if the person inputs 2, count becomes 1. Person inputs 2, the loop goes again. The input 3 and the total becomes 5, the loop goes again. The input 4 and the total becomes 9, the input again. The input 1 and the total becomes 10, or the input 5 and the total becomes 14, the loop stops. As soon as the loop goes over 9, the loop stops. Conditional loop. Indentation. The most common loops probably are for loops, conditional loops. We use the unconditional loops, we use these when we know how many times the loop is going to run. So for each from, do, and for each, we just need to have an example of this. For from value to value, we do value to value function and for. So let's have a look. Set words to the cat sat on the. Set sentence to the empty string. For each word, from words, do set sentence to sentence plus word, and for each. So let's look at this for loop. For each word, from words, do set sentence to sentence plus word. Okay. Sentence is an empty string. For each word, set sentence to sentence plus word. Okay, here's the first word. Sentence becomes the. We run it again, sentence becomes the cat. We run it again, sentence becomes the cat sat. We run it again, sentence becomes the cat sat on. We run it again. This is the last word that we've got, so the cat sat on the. Sentence, when we've been through each word, becomes the cat sat on the, and we're on our way to the wee proverb or whatever it is. Send sentence to display. The sentence is displayed on screen. Indentation. Now, conditional statements. Stable programming. allow you to make a selection. Here's a wee example. Set high mark to 50, taking a mark for the keyboard, integer keyboard. If mark is greater than high mark, then mark becomes the high mark. End if. So we take in our mark, we check it against the high mark, which we've set as 50. If somebody enters 54 or 60, then high mark then takes the value 60. So this program checks to see if the mark that's received is higher than the high mark they've got so far. We've been checking some of them. Somebody's got the highest mark in the class so far, it's 50. If somebody gets above that, then that becomes the highest mark. Indentation.